Well, what a week it has been. Bafana Bafana dismiss Cabo Verde in the quarterfinals, and Arsenal tip Liverpool over to open the title race wide open. This is Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway, where you get way more. Joining me on the show today, Mr. Len Moleko.
Awe.
Tsepi Worldwide.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling. And everybody's favorite super sub.
Danko.
Welcome to the show. Of course, AFCON 2023, it's so often called AFCON 2024. I always get it wrong. Technically, it's AFCON 2023.
Of course.
Has been a great tournament. Every week we come here, we talk about how great the officiating's been, how great the level of competition's been, the quality of the football, the quality of VAR. And that continues to go. It continues to go. It's been a great tournament. And we see the Ivorians who must be mixing some serious muti with the sort of luck they've been having.
Len can tell us more.
How, before we get to Bafana,
You're the only one that knows about Muti in this show.
He's a conspiracy theorist. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Man. If we go back to the episode that we've done and check who talks about Muti the most, you're the guy.
Exactly. I mean,
Do you
even
think
when we had a watch-along friend, he was the one going on about, did we play that sangom?
Exactly. So do you think Ivorians, they've played their sangom?
Chief, I plead the fifth.
This is not America, okay? That's the most
fifth.
Exactly.
I'm not coming there. But like, I mean, it's. I don't think it's a Muti situation. I think more than anything, it's you know that the atmosphere, the home fans rallying behind you, and kind of like we almost had it with the 2010 FIFA World Cup when we were behind Bafana in '96. We had it
98
no 96
and
What?
8.
When we were
but
here.
98 it was not here.
it was not here. No, that's what he's saying.
Oh,
the
that's what he's
tournament.
saying. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
home fan.
Yes,
Okay.
home
The 12th man at home.
the 12th
Okay,
man at
okay,
home. Yes,
okay.
so yeah, it's. I think it's that. That's the Sangoma element of Ivory Coast and how they find themselves so far in the tournament.
I agree, because they were down to 10 men through most of that fixture, struggling against the first set of Eagles that we struggled against as well. And we will talk about the second set of Eagles coming. But struggles persisted all the way through till the final minutes of open play, or regular play rather. And then an equalizer happens with that stadium absolutely bouncing. And then it felt like an 11th man in the stadium, truly, for Ivory Coast, pushing them over the line. Then they went and received another red card for celebrations. So, okay, maybe they won't have much of a team to field against the DRC, but they're going to have that 12th man behind them again.
Definitely,
100%.
and you need that if all else fails, all right, on the field of play, just that energy, that roar from the crowd, it almost like it picks you, up, and no matter how tired you are, no matter how much of a plan you don't have, you just have to come up with something. And it's almost like, even with Bafana, right, it's almost like they can feel the love from the whole country, from where they are. It's almost like how the Springboks also felt the love from where they were in France, and people watching in bars and wherever they watch, and Pampierstad or Springbok somewhere. Why does Pampierstad always catch hands?
What's
Stray bullets.
Strays. It's catching strays.
You know,
I mean,
so that thing, that thing is there, man, and I suppose they're feeling it, and I think against Mali is most likely going to be the same thing.
And I mean, that's exactly what happens. I mean, you know, we go into a PL a match, for example, and
not
we
money.
know that a team generally does well sometimes playing at home as opposed to playing away, and that is a huge contributing factor, really. So it makes sense that they are able to,
And I agree with that completely. You do see home advantage in Premier League matches, less so in DStv Premiership because of the volume of fans in a stadium. But I think that is even turned up ever so slightly more in a tournament like this, where the nation is behind a team rather than like club football supporters.
Yep.
Because this is the time that even non-football fans necessarily go and support their team, just to be like,
definitely.
hey, there's a game at the stadium, we're going to support our country, let's go cheer them on.
Yeah, I mean, golfers, rugby players, cricketers,
Alles.
everybody, zonke bonke is watching Bafana Bafana, and which is good. I mean, on Saturday, when I was going to the shops, like literally, I think that whole element of support was even done through seeing people wearing Kaizer Chiefs jerseys, Orlando Pirates jerseys, Sundowns jerseys, Bafana jerseys. But it just gave that unity thing on some like, okay, today, yes, I'm wearing Sundowns, but it's representing, well, I suppose because 9 of them are there, that also makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, it's just representing the nation and saying like, yo, let's do this.
I agree. And more than anything, I was having this conversation with Marco earlier about how we are starting to see corporate or even, sponsors of Bafana really now rallying and wanting to really show their support of Bafana. To be honest with you, in the beginning, it was a bit disappointing. I would have enjoyed, seeing more people rally behind Bafana, but considering also how disappointing, in inverted commas, Bafana has been, we did not anticipate them getting as far as they did, but it's nice to see that South Africans are finally seeing that we are capable. I mean, the semifinals is no child's play. So shout out to every single person, number one, who's buying a Bafana jersey.
I bought 2.
We know your story.
So
Did you get a size?
Did you at least buy your size?
It was the last one left. It was insane, right?
Yeah.
So the grayish one was not available.
Yeah.
I didn't want the yellow one or the green one.
Yeah.
The other one that I had a size in was the Banyana one because the black one is a Banyana jersey. It's not a Bafana jersey.
Okay.
So,
but they have it in men's sizes.
no, they do. But I wanted the.
They should have. I mean,
It would be interesting. Okay, wait. So the Babanyana one, even when it's a man's fit, is it like a unisex, considering that it's a women's jersey?
I
remember
won't
the
be able
defense
to
it's in
tell you.
cards.
Fenway, there is a woman cut and a man cut.
It's just cards,
Yes, but for
everything will be
playing-
the same.
For playing, it will be.
It should be feminine.
I think it will be
a
to the
bit.
choice of the player, right? I don't imagine that you're forcing players to wear a certain. I think,
But I've seen
be
them.
allowed to
It's
select.
women's card. They go above your sort of like
the
your,
one that I was wearing.
Yes,
this one.
yeah.
Yes.
So, speaking of everyone being distracted by jerseys, the Ballers are extremely distracted by Len Moleko's jersey. And Ballers, thank you once again for joining us. And if you aren't a Betway user, please use the affiliate code OnsideZA when joining as a new user on the Betway app. But with all these baller distractions, now you've done it. I hope the camera was on me that whole time because that was a serious problem.
I was trying to align.
But in the comments here, Masocha Butalezi saying we want Ivory. I mean, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but say we are to progress early tomorrow. Would there be a preference as to who we face in the final, Ivory Coast or DRC? I mean,
Look, for me, if we get to the final,
When we
get to the final, thank you for
Get
the
it right.
correction.
Get it right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
When we get to the final, I'll like anyone. It's
But I
that
feel
DRC, they can beat us if they bring their A game on the day. Ivory Coast, anyone can take it. It's a final. It does not matter when we get to the final, we would have achieved for me.
I think
enough-
a bookmaker statistically, bookmaker statistically would tell us if you qualify against Nigeria tomorrow, which is unlikely statistically from a bookmaker's value, which we can overturn those odds. We showed it against Morocco already. But they would tell you want DRC. That's the fixture you want.
it's in your
But
best
on the
interest.
field-
But
of
I
play.
kind of like what Ballers are saying is like, bring on Ivory Coast. I like the confidence of it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that bring. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Oh yeah, well, I suppose having Ivory Coast won't be a bad substitute to what we had versus Cape Verde, right?
And I think it also adds a lot of credibility to your tournament, right? So Bafana got on to win the whole thing after beating Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Morocco. etc. That would be just a cherry on top of a beautiful AFCON cake.
In fact, the other cherry, sorry friend, but that's the cherry, and then there is also like a bowl of champagne, and that is the over 70 mil that we already have accumulated. Well, 46 million to be precise, 46.9 million already we've accumulated, and we can potentially make a good 75 mil. But also then, like my biggest stress is like, oh my God, what is Safa going to do with all that money?
No, that's crazy. I hope whatever contract those boys
I can get into trouble.
have signed, it like legally insulate them, because Safa can just, I'm just looking at Dani, seeing all those numbers and like, oh, that's a fat bonus, Because, we can't trust Safa, unfortunately.
Look, he can turn around and say, like, all the work that I put in as president,
I'm entitled.
Okay, is he going to be, let me ask.
Yeah.
And hear me out.
Yeah.
Is he going to be wrong when he says, yo, all the work that I've put in, look at what Banyana has done. Look at what Bafana has done. No, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm listening. We're listening. Yeah.
I'm smiling because that is a good point.
We're listening, yeah.
And and then he bonuses himself. Are we going to turn around and say, no, you can't? I'm just asking.
Kanti, how does it work there? So he can just write a check. Like, how does it work?
I don't think they're allowed to write checks to themselves, but there's always a way.
It can influence.
There's always a structure.
Yeah, no, right. Like, obviously, I can give a contract to someone who's going to supply me on kits, and then they're going to charge me way too much, and then around the back door, I get a kickback from thing. But I'm not saying that's what's happening.
So
I'm not insinuating that this is exactly what's going on.
Tembisa hospital vibes.
My friend, why are you living in
I'm
fear?
saying it's a possibility.
Skinny jeans vibes.
So you've got a point, Len, and Safa is an institution. He's probably entitled, right, to a certain level of...
And who are they accountable to?
They're accountable to FIFA.
And this is like...
But FIFA actually also gives them money.
This is like Thabo Bester being accountable to Nandip.
Hey, wow, Len. Okay, so the point that I was trying to make is that I just hope that the contract that the boys signed prior to them going to the World Cup, to AFCON, it's sort of fair in terms of compensation of what they've achieved. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm talking about the split. Let's say they come home with 75 million. 50 million goes to the traveling team and the entire traveling team, and then maybe 25 million goes to the backroom staff. I don't know what is the structure.
I love how ambitious you are, but yeah, continue.
But I'm hoping that is the case. That's what I'm saying. I hope the contract that they've signed insulate them legally to get more out of their winnings,
So back to Ivory Coast versus the DRC. Looking at it, what I found interesting was the DRC's run in this tournament. And just looking at their run in this tournament, let me just go back to those fixtures.
Yeah.
How's about this for a run of results? If you were to guess how many games DRC has won to get this far in the tournament, how many would you say? And I mean outright win a game.
So 3 groups,
I think
16,
2 games.
8 semis. I would say...
Close.
1 game.
I would say...
The 3-1 against Guinea.
Yes, was the opening game, right?
No. That's the last 16.
They lost 16 game.
Yeah.
The quarterfinal, they lost game. Quarterfinal.
They won 3 games.
They've won 1 game. They drew all of their group stage games.
Oh, they come through the back door as well.
They beat Egypt on penalties, so they didn't outright win the game. They won on penalties.
Okay.
And then they won their quarterfinal against Guinea 3-1. DRC, that's the first game they've won outright in this tournament.
Oh, yes, they drew against Tanzania.
Yeah, they drew their opener against Zambia 1-1. They drew against Morocco 1-1. They drew against Tanzania 0-0. Then drew against Egypt and won on penalties, 8-7 on penalties, and then beat Guinea. So how's that for a way to get to a semi-final?
Didn't Spain do the
Portugal
same thing?
Portugal did it at some point.
Yeah. So Portugal did it in the Euros.
Yeah, in the Euros.
And they won it. They went all the way. So
and they've also gotten through the back door.
Yes. Same as Sundowns when they won their first CAF Champions League.
And in saying that, Ivory Coast's run wasn't that impressive all the way here either. They beat Mali 2-1 after extra time, as we just saw in the quarterfinals. They beat Senegal on penalties, to some controversy, but I think it was actually accurate. They lost 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea. They lost to Nigeria, and they won their opener against Guinea-Bissau.
So
And that's how they've got into the semi-final.
So effectively in the semis, only 2 teams have lost a game and the other 2 haven't lost a game in this tournament so far.
Who hasn't lost a game so far?
DRC have not lost a
DRC
game.
have not lost a game.
Nigeria have not lost a game.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast have.
Ivory
They
Coast
have.
lost
They did, a
against
couple.
Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea
Huh?
in the group
Yes.
stage.
In the group stages,
4-0
yeah, for them,
against
yes.
Nigeria,
And Bafana Bafana obviously lost against Mali in their opening game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then looking further into performances of teams remaining in the AFCON, the 2 best defenses in the tournament come against each other tomorrow in the form of Nigeria and Bafana Bafana. Nigeria have conceded a solitary goal
Yes.
the whole tournament. In their 1-1 draw in their opening game against Equatorial Guinea, they since beat Ivory Coast 1-0, Guinea-Bissau 1-0, Cameroon 2-0, and Angola 1-0. So not bags of goals,
They're
but
not
a
a high-scoring
very good defensive record. So
And we're not too far off, Marco.
Bafana Bafana and Nigeria have both only conceded in their opening game of the tournament. Bafana have only conceded in penalties, which doesn't count. So they've both gone,
But it was only 1 goal.
That
they've
went
both
in,
gone
basically.
4 games
Yeah.
without conceding.
We've also gone 4 games without
that's what
conceding.
both teams, Nigeria
Yeah, so
and
we
Bafana
considered
Bafana-
2, they considered 1.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes, that's it. So that's what makes Nigeria's defense better than Bafana's is simply the score, the volume of goals conceded in
And
the opening
that's a
fixture.
scoreline for tomorrow, 2-1 to Bafana.
Well, that would
That's an
be
interesting take.
that would multiply the number of goals they've conceded in this tournament by 3.
That's an interesting
But also, remember, statistics are but nothing like a bikini.
There's only one stat that matters: is that it's 11 men versus 11 men
Yes.
tomorrow. That's the stat. That's how it starts. That's the reality. It's one football and 11 against 11.
Yes, but 11 men also from the other side who are lanky, who are strong, who physically have an advantage potentially,
Who love rice.
Oh, la, la.
who love South Africa also,
Women.
you know. And then which one are we talking? Which one am I talking about when I say who love South Africa? Anyway, and then we have also our boys who also are in it tactically, strategically. We know that they've got it. So it's going to be quite interesting what happens. I'm concerned about just the physical aspect. And also we're watching the highlights of Marco and just their speed also. And as much as Osman has not really been a high scorer, but he's so instrumental in what happens in that squad. And man, you saw the guys, man.
And I see
we
they're already
afraid?
playing
Siyabasa-
mind games.
Look,
Asibasavi.
no, it's fine. It's okay. We used to it.
Siyabafuna.
You know, I was, yeah, never, let me not go there. The one thing I can take comfort out of with regards to us versus Nigeria is that ahead of the tournament, we played against a Lesotho side, which we drew against, and the very Lesotho side that went to Nigeria and actually gave them a hiding.
Facts.
Right?
So Nigeria had a very bad build up to this tournament.
Fair point.
Very bad build up to this tournament. But since being at the tournament, their Portuguese coach, Jose, he is playing a very defensive strategy as well. 3 at the back. I mean, we've seen that with coaches who want to keep things solid. 3 centre backs with wing backs and then wingers ahead of them. So a 3-4-3 formation is what they're going for. And they know they've got quality up front. You look at Ademola Lookman, who's been Nigeria's player of the
Lookman is a
tournament so
star.
far.
Yeah.
He's amongst the goals, amongst the assists. A man you're familiar with, Mr. Iwobi. He's been very stellar.
And I see he's playing very deep as well, eh?
He's playing quite deep relative to what he would normally do at Everton.
Yeah.
and central, very central, whereas he's been deployed wide in the Premier League largely. So the manager wants to shore up shop, and then they've got that physicality that Tsepi was talking about, as well as athleticism. So physicality is the one element, but those long legs cover ground.
Yeah.
Like they just move up the
very
pitch
quick
really
in
quickly.
transition.
Very quick in both transitions, right? So Bafana can take advantage of a counter attack. No slouches up front for Bafana either. They've got some quick legs there as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough fixture.
Look, the other thing I'm going to take comfort out of is, yes, I hear all that we speak about with regards to Nigeria and all their attributes and all that jazz. But let's not forget also, I think outside of Ivory Coast, which I spoke about, the energy that they have, the one thing that Bafana has going for themselves is the fact that you cannot beat the chemistry that the majority of the team has.
That's a good
because it's players who play on the continent every 2 weeks, dominant.
Domestically dominant every week.
Dominant week in, week out. And there's just pockets of one or two players who are not part of that chemistry. And I think Hugo has got his work cut out very much. One, that. Two, there's one Pesitao who I feel still owes us a big game. And this might be it. And I think the last time we had a big game where we beat Nigeria, Pesitao was actually in amongst the goals.
Nice.
Yeah, this is what I was saying when we had our live on Instagram, that, Pacey hasn't really fired in all cylinders. And usually managers will keep a player like that in the team in the hope that he will have that one stellar game.
Or one or two moments of magic.
Yes, one or two moments of magic where he just takes you into the next level, And I think Hugo Bruce, he's keeping him in the squad for that particular reason, that he will have his game, and he will hurt opposition. I think that's why he's keeping him in the game.
For me now at the moment, Tepi, is that for this fixture, Hugo Bruce has no option but to play Percy Tau because of the injury to Tapelo Maseko.
No, definitely.
I'm saying, guys, and something quite pleasant also that, I've seen in AFCON is just the amount of players playing in our top flights and also other divisions in South Africa, plying their trade. Nwabili, the goalkeeper of Nigeria, plays for Chiba United, which is also quite nice, So it kind of shows that if certain players do not play, in Europe, then the next best bet is coming to South Africa, which I think is actually something to be applauded.
I thought you were going to talk about the fans. But anyway, as caller.
What fans? What fans?
The fans that are attending games. These games are very well attended.
the Cabo Verde fans.
All fans, Chief.
You've got your visa ready, Chief.
The comments are blowing up for the Cabo Verde fans, and there's very specific ones that the boys are talking about.
Yeah.
For the Cabo Verde fans.
All I know is that
Please
Marco...
tell us, because I'm so lost.
It's pretty girls.
South Africa has pretty girls as well. What do you mean?
But at the
It's okay.
stadium.
Oh.
It's okay. Me and Marco is teaching me Portuguese after this.
And considering how small that country is,
South African man has equalized.
Yeah, 1-1. Sesfigile, man. We are in.
And guys, because considering how small that island is, you can go in there and make a killing, I'm sure.
Of course, I wouldn't come back.
There's joy in Cabo Verde.
Hey. But yeah, no.
But there's Mama Joy in Ivory Coast.
It's okay. I'm still going to Cape Verde.
I like what you said, Mama.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I know where my joy is.
Yeah.
Over to the comments just for a little bit. Rasby, regular baller commenter, thanks for joining us again. Bafana just need to play as a team.
No,
100%.
standard.
That's it.
There is a gap in quality, perceived quality at least, between the teams as individuals. But if they play as a team and they play with the heart that we've seen in previous games in the tournament, they stand a terrific chance of going through. Tabiso Teso saying Percy must step up. The whole team must. Hey, let's do this for the country.
Yeah, but I also like the
and late
boys.
Aka.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Super Sub, but I've been going through snippets of post-match interviews, and I just like also just how pleasantly they speak of Coach Hugo, and just how he has had so much faith in them, and because of the amount of faith he's had in them, I'm talking about the likes of Mahopa, for example. They feel as though they are really playing for him, and that's sometimes what you want. So they play as a unit, as a team, but also to just somehow show how appreciative they are to Coach Hugo for selecting them. So I think that is also going to go a mile, and we've seen the guys really put everything, including the kitchen sink, in making sure that they come out winners.
Yeah, I just have an interesting stats, the head-to-head, The last time these two met, it was in 2019 in the Africa Cup of Nations.
2-1.
2-1?
Bongani Zungu.
And then 2018 Africa Cup of Nations qualification, 1-1 here in South Africa.
Okay.
And then 17, I think it was an away leg. We won 2-0 in Nigeria. And the rest is 1-1. It was a friendly, 1-1 friendly, and 2-2 another Africa Cup of Nation qualification.
I think
so out of 5, we drew 3, and then
1-2.
1-2.
I think at AFCON, we've never beaten Nigeria altogether in all the games that we've met them at AFCON. But then again, those are history lessons. Those are statistics. Yes, they will guide a narrative, but like Marco said earlier on, tomorrow, 7 p.m., it's 11v11 with one soccer ball in the middle. That's how everything is going to be sorted.
And a monster in goal in Ronwen Williams.
Of course. And I there's this narrative that the majority of the Nigerian team are saying in that, like, it's fine. He's good at penalties, but we're not going to go to penalties. What they also forget to mention, you realize that save that Ronwen made
is why there was penalties.
Is literally what kept us in the tournament. That's why we still that's why we're still in the tournament right now.
Yeah,
and just overall, his save ratio, it's some crazy statistic that
and it was a world class.
Can we give him a round of applause?
Yeah, Ronwen.
No, big ups to Ronwen.
Even
our
though
hero.
Cape Verde's goalkeeper Vaizinho, I think something along
like
those
that,
lines. He made terrific saves
not
in
bad.
extra time.
Yeah, true.
But we wouldn't have got to extra time if it weren't for Ronwen's save.
Yeah, especially that one from Mayambela. Oof, that one I had counted in, hey.
Terrific save.
Yeah, terrific
And then
save.
it turned into a double save.
Yeah, it turned to a double
soon
save.
after. So, yeah. So
That's what I'm saying. Somebody who's pinpoint, somebody who does it for Al Ahly weekend in, weekend out. Pessi has to step up.
So then begs the question, and I'm talking about Ronwen. Do we see him now? Obviously, he's attracting a lot of attention, and we know so many teams, globally that could do with the services
Man
of
United.
of a keeper of a stature.
You saw that one coming. I know you
did. Should Sundown start, getting paperwork together and starting to get a bit scared and, finding a replacement?
But here's a question.
let me first interrupt.
Okay.
First of all, Andre Onana has the second most clean sheets in the Premier League this season.
Shame, and
with
well
7.
done to him.
Okay.
Shame against
He
West
also
Ham.
has already conceded 50 goals
Okay.
in his first season in the Premier League, which is more than Man United have scored altogether.
Sure.
So
He's a contrast unto himself.
He's an exhibitor.
you either don't concede or you concede lots. It's one of the two.
True.
Okay, but please go on with your thoughts. Sorry for interrupting you.
This is not a rant. It's just like a little thingy. Why is it that?
So now we've got a mini rant and a main rant.
Yes.
This is a mini
This is a
Len Moleko
pre-rant.
mini
Oh,
rant
pre-rant,
brought to you
yeah.
by Betway,
For
where you
play.
get way more.
Why is it that we consider playing in overseas leagues as somewhat of an achievement and look down upon playing for Sundowns, for instance, or for Pirates or for Chiefs?
May I say?
Why? I'm not done. I'm coming to you,
Okay.
child. I'm coming.
Your
I'm
child. Yay! See my
Mind the hatch.
Malume.
like that hit me like
Anyway,
yeah.
Not Alcignana. Hey.
okay. As I was saying, because like a Chiefs or a Pirates, you still have the quality or the opportunity to still play on the continent and play AFL and get paid lots of money. Play Champions League, get paid lots of money. Premier League, get paid lots of money. Oh, the Premiership, get paid lots of money. Why? When is that mindset going to change that the grass is greener in Belgium or in Sweden or in the EPL, for instance?
I think we should be talking top 5 leagues now currently for some of these stars, right? So we're not talking Belgium or Greece or those sorts of nations. We should be talking about France, Italy, England,
Germany,
Spain.
My thing is this, when I learn, mind you also, so two things can be correct at the same time. And in this instance, when we say that, his move overseas is a good thing, doesn't necessarily negate also how great our, football is, or our Premier League and etc. You see, the thing about a person being able to move overseas and apply their trade there is that not only do they improve their game, considering also that the type of football that is played over there is different, but it also once again puts a microscope on South Africa and just also what it has to offer. So once you start having a guy over there, he somehow, if he is a smart individual, he somehow goes in there and tries to find opportunities and ways in which, he can come back home and bring whatever it is that he's learned over here. I mean, the likes of Lucas have been able to do that, coming here now and wanting to plow back. So I do not, view our Premiership or our leagues as anything else, but great. But I feel as though if you do go overseas and you are exposed globally, it does somehow shine a great light on us.
And also you can take away the fact that there's monetary issues as well.
That's true.
Those people are being paid handsomely there.
Yes, and what about ambition of a player?
Players also wants to play Champions League, European Champions League.
I like Len's view because he brought up Belgium and Greece and those sorts of leagues, which he has a fair point, because that seems to be the destination for a lot of South African players. I don't think you're arguing the point of top 5 leagues, right? Is that if you can go to Italy, Spain, France, Germany, or England, then it's a no-brainer, right? If you can go to a top league.
What are you saying exactly? Please just elaborate.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Maybe I was not clear in what I'm saying. I'm saying, at what point as Africans are we actually going to take our football seriously as football that we desire to stay in and grow it?
Mm-hmm. Let's fix our leagues. Let's fix our federations.
When Solos pays their players.
Yes, okay, let's fix our federations.
But look, if
you're a Solos player and then there's a team in Europe come calling and then you didn't even receive your salary in December, are you gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna stay around because I wanna improve our leagues? No, you're gonna leave.
Let me hit you with a feather.
Yeah.
One swallow does not make a summer.
Well, it's not only Solos.
I'm just saying.
We've had those problems from other teams as well.
But then again, if we shine the spotlight and actually watch our teams and give attention to our teams, Chiefs and Pirates, Sundowns don't have these problems because there's a huge telescope on them. They take themselves seriously. They attract sponsors because stadiums are,
I agree with you fully.
Right? But if that was if that thread was there for the majority of our teams, then it's a different story.
So then you are saying we're not there yet. Actually, you've answered yourself.
No.
Other teams are not like Sundowns, Chiefs, or Pirates.
Okay.
They're not in that level.
Yeah, but I don't know if the argument is if you're choosing between Swallows and Rayo Vallecano, you're going to choose Rayo Vallecano.
Because there you're going to get paid.
But if you're choosing between Sundowns and perhaps a team struggling at the bottom of La Liga, that becomes a more difficult choice. And maybe it should be a difficult choice because Sundowns is a great team to play for. So perhaps it's not better to be in a top league at a smaller side and rather to win titles and compete for CAF Champions League and stuff at a side like Sundowns.
Look, it's kind of, what's his name? The boy that Sundowns just bought now from Sweden. The name escapes me now.
Matthews.
Tashuk Matthews.
Yes.
Him leaving Sweden to come play for Sundowns. Commendable. We need more of those things. If end of the season, Burnley gets relegated and Sundowns go in for, what's his face?
Okay.
That boy, man.
But you're talking about one team here, Len.
No, I'm just making an example.
Yes,
But I'm saying Sundowns can afford.
Yes, but even so, I mean, look, it doesn't necessarily have to be a one-sided type of situation. You know, as much as we are then exporting, it's okay to import as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a mutually beneficial relationship.
I get that.
Pirates signed this guy from the assistant coach at Fulham, from Luis Bomote. We imported, my man.
Yeah,
So we are seriously.
Do you understand? I mean,
We signed
go
Bailey,
to
Chief.
South America. Come on, like
No,
we
no,
really
look,
do.
The
But
big
I
Ebby
see
says Len
also-
has a point. We
I
need
see
to
what he's
pack our
saying, yeah.
stadiums weekly, not only when Chiefs and Pirates are playing.
For sure. I agree with that comment as well.
And Neo Isaac saying, would you rather play for Chiefs or Elche?
exactly.
All I'm saying
Well,
is,
I don't know if that's exactly. I don't know because I don't know the choice there.
Like, I'm
but I
asking-
mean, I think that AFCON and just the overall excitement of, you know, seeing our boys, I'm talking your Sundowns, your Pirates and the like, Bosikukune, you know, applying their trade there continentally is also going to hopefully trickle down to wanting to watch them, you know, here in South Africa. So hopefully that in response to, you know, let's go to stadiums, that might also then translate to more people in our stadiums.
So can we, make your
Controversial
controversial
question. And the ballers can also answer as well. Ne?
Yeah.
In the event that the Arsenal-Liverpool game was playing on Saturday at 10 o'clock, which game do you think was going to be watched the most by South Africans?
Bafana Bafana. We're not talking Bafana. This is a national team.
No, there's a
AFCON.
message there's something that I'm trying to ascertain.
but your question has got an open end. Like,
Would you? I think that
is two games at the same time?
Yes.
Is Bafana playing
Yes,
and is
and
Liverpool playing?
Arsenal.
yes. So the two games over the weekend that happened Saturday, Sunday, they play on the same day at the same time. Which one do you think was going to be more consumed?
Both of them.
Yeah, I think it would have been a bit of a split.
It would have been a bit of a split.
So
But
the
guys,
reason,
do we even understand the demographics of
But I
who
think
actually
this-
watches South African football and who doesn't? Because I think we are
We're
of
going
the
into
mind,
the sticks here, though.
Yes,
on that
but I
one.
think we're
mean,
of the
that's a-
minds that, you know, South African football is not as watched. What are the stats saying? I think the stats would actually give us a better understanding.
South African
from
football
South
is
Africans.
Yes.
It's more watched on TV than at the stadium.
at the stadium, number one. Number two,
Yes.
there's a Nielsen study or report that was released, I think, last year.
Okay, what does it say?
Sundowns Chiefs, Sundowns Pirates, Pirates Chiefs.
Yeah, like just the...
Those are the only games that clock over 1 million. Other games, it's like 7,000.
And Premier League?
Premier League numbers are just below 1 mil for the big teams, the Cities, the Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, when they play amongst each other.
Okay.
The rest of the other games...
So Chiefs Pirates is a bigger game for South African
Pretty
viewership
much.
than Manchester United Liverpool.
pretty much.
According
Yes.
to okay.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to just one final point on this debate about players going overseas and away from the idea of them wanting to go play in leagues like the Premier League. There's the issue that we spoke about Bafana Bafana having to be in FIFA's top 50 ranking to qualify for an automatic work visa in the United Kingdom. However, I will do an entire video series explaining the other varying options because it can get quite technical on how a player can qualify to be accepted for a work visa in the UK without their team being a top 50 side in the world. And I'll say outright now, before I create this whole video explaining all of the little things, is that right now, Bafana Bafana have done all of their players a huge favor for a British work visa by qualifying for the semifinals of AFCON, because that gives a huge number of points to a work visa qualification. A semifinal in a major national team tournament, if you played and contributed in that tournament, it gives you a huge number of points to qualify for a work visa as a footballer in the UK.
Nice.
There's also varying stats that, like the CAF Champions League, competing in that tournament will also qualify players for a certain number of points. So Sundowns players currently playing in the Bafana Bafana squad will definitely be able to attract clubs in the UK for Premier League where they are likely to qualify for a work visa based on some of these varying elements. So the semi-final cannot be understated for that point specifically, like a Ronwen Williams being able to get a work visa in the UK to play for a Premier League side,
Well, I
the
guess
semi-final qualification is huge for that, regardless of what happens tomorrow.
But also, then you see, I'm going back to my
the
point a
conundrum
little
will
bit.
be-
Ne? See, there's also barrier to entry. Those leagues don't want, like, you can go play in the French Ligue 1 without having to go through fire and what. Because to play in the Premier League, if you are South African, then you must go to Uzbekistan.
We
and
remember
then-
it with Percy Tau when he went to Brighton,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
then
he
you
had
must
to
go
play.
to Belgium.
He
then
played
they
in
had
Belgium
to
first.
him
and then, like, whereas you have, which is actually surprising. Who's that boy? Is he Zambian? The one who had heart complications and he had to stop playing football.
I remember him. I just don't know his
I
name.
just forgot his name. He was playing in the Premier League, yet Zambia was not in the top 50 on the continent. So
It depends on the age that they go to that league as well. And
there's-
there's varying factors. So like I said, I'll do a
And
full
also,
video
which
series.
chances are he did also his development that side as well.
Yes.
It's also
So-
another element.
It's one of the factors, and it's why Sitole can play in Portugal
Yes,
the way he
but I
has, because
mean-
he started at youth level in the Portuguese system.
No,
Yeah.
Portugal is very welcoming to a lot of South African players. Actually, there's an academy in KZN. They actually export a lot of their youngsters to Portugal.
Well, I
So it's like a
remember
Cape Town situation.
the Dutch league was the biggest one in Europe that was bringing talent when Feyenoord had an agreement with
Sport
Supersport.
United, yeah.
And Braga, the Portuguese Premier Division side, had an agreement here in Johannesburg as well. I just can't remember which local club they had an agreement with.
Yeah.
For as a feeder club to feed young talent.
But I
to
think,
that side.
in conclusion, guys, it really is upon not just the spectators. I mean, we can only do so much, but the federations need to start taking this more seriously, from an administrative point, because I mean, if you want, ideally what you want, where we are really focusing on improving our game, improving our, football, because the reality right now is that the world is watching what we are doing here on our continent, as opposed to what's even happening in Asia. So we need to then take this, very seriously in order to make sure that the next 2025 or 26, depending on which year they want to play.
25.
They say 25, no?
But it will be January
But we don't
26th,
know,
same
yes.
as this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
so
go.
same thing.
So as long as all the federations, really take this seriously, then we have a potential of creating a powerhouse, really.
But if you look at CAF and what CAF has done, especially more so with this particular tournament,
Yes.
even though Moroccans are busy blaming us and saying that Motsepe is going to every game, but it's fine. They are better.
But what does he want him to do? I mean, I get it, right? He is the president, but
he must watch on TV. What do they want?
He is still South
Here's the thing,
African.
ne? North Africans have a sense of entitlement when it comes
been that
to
it's been that
football
way.
or
They will
sport
always
on
look
the
for
continent.
something
that
to
way.
complain about.
So losers.
Because Hakimi missed the penalty. Did Motsepe say he must miss the penalty? If the narrative is that, you can add that as a rant. If the narrative is that Motsepe is probably doing some things there in the background, then it means that Morocco are complicit themselves. It means if what they're saying is true,
They
it means
should
that
have said
they accepted money
That's it.
for Hakimi to miss the penalty.
Because they're out.
This is
Next is
French-
Nigeria, but we'll get to that later in the show.
Okay, there's two final points before we move on from AFCON. One, speaking about Morocco and AFCON 2025, they will be hosting the tournament there.
If they don't win, if they get knocked out, they're going to chase everybody away.
Yeah, I think it's going
I
to be.
wouldn't be surprised.
One thing also that I think we forget to mention, yes, we're talking about the refereeing, the officiating, obviously the level of football that we've been seeing played at AFCON is the infrastructure, guys. That
Terrific.
the level of infrastructure in this AFCON has
And clear
improved.
organization.
Clear organization as well. I was watching the
Cape Verde game, I know.
and the
That's
level
what
of
I carry.
attendance as well. Why are you throwing me off, dog?
No, sorry. We digress.
But I think it's also part of what we used to complain about when AFCON goes into this other places, that, the level of infrastructure is not up to par with what the world offers out there. And I think Motsepe sort of like closed that gap,
And big ups, as we congratulating and bigging up people, big ups to KEF and big up to the president of KEF, because this by far, I was actually having a chat with Marco now, and people can come for my neck, it's fine. This AFCON is actually way better than the 2022 FIFA World Cup.
I agree.
Oh, and
And-
of course.
and
A
I'll
lot
go
of people are
further.
sharing those sentiments.
I
I'll
agree.
go further and say it's the best national football tournament I've seen in a long, long while.
Yeah, it's
No,
been good.
definitely.
It was really well organized.
Very, very quickly, guys, while we just still speaking on AFCON very quickly. So something quite interesting that I found is that, did you know that in the past, and I mean, AFCON started back in 1970, right? The first edition. There've been 4 top goal scorers awards, and that's it. Only 4.
What's the reason for that? Do you know?
So, actually, it's quite weird. And it says here, I'm just going to read this very quickly. It says, since the first edition in 1970, only 4 goalkeepers have won such an accolade, which is completely uneven. One of them was even awarded twice. It was added to the list in 2008 and awarded to Egypt's Issam Al-Handri. He has been the only one to win twice. Furthermore, the award was given in 3 occasions and. So it seems as though they do not always include the top goal scorer as an award in the competition. So it would be quite interesting to see what happens this competition, considering also how well, certain keepers have done.
Hey, yeah. I mean, who would be top goal scorer? Lukeman, is he currently leading the standings? I haven't checked.
I'm not sure.
haven't
But look, it was during the times of Issa Hayatou. That's when KEF was just they were just doing things in J. There was no proper organization with regards
So
to
there
that.
was no golden boot. Is that what Tepi's saying?
There was
Yeah.
no
Top goal scorer, Golden Boot.
Yeah, top goal scorer is Golden Boot. Yes. Anyway, we digress. Are we done with KEF?
I
I could speak about it the whole day.
I want us to
No, the
do our
category
picks.
is best goalkeeper category. It's never
Oh,
always
best
been there.
goalkeeper.
So we've only had 4.
Golden Glove.
So
Because
it
Patrick
doesn't
Mboma
always
was a
happen.
top goal scorer in, I think, 2002 then. Patrick Mboma, Cameroonian, that played for
Okay, so like a Golden Glove award.
Golden Glove. Oh,
which
okay.
would
That makes
currently
sense. Yeah.
is
So-
in the STV Premiership either which way because
So the
it's
only,
only
4
two
people
goalkeepers.
is Issam El Handri of Egypt. It is Sylvain Gobo from Ivory Coast. It is Rais Daboli from Algeria. And Edouard Mendy of Senegal. Those are the only 4 people who've won best goalkeeper.
Okay,
In
Edouard Mendy,
AFCON.
very good goalkeeper.
Goal.
Yeah, so it's not Golden Boot. Sorry,
Golden
we're talking
Glove.
about Golden Glove.
Yes, goalkeeper.
Okay, very interesting. What's it with Portuguese managers coming to manage national sides in Africa?
Because
And
it's the
then losing
closest
their
you
jobs.
it's the closest you can get to Cape Verde.
Then go manage Cape Verde. Rui Vitoria obviously being dismissed by the Egyptian FA after Egypt's performance in this tournament. Were Egypt
How
bad.
many? A lot of managers were sacked.
Even Ivory Coast got their interim
Yes.
manager in a way because they got sacked after that 4-0.
Yeah, many
And now look.
casualties, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of casualties. But look, I mean, do you blame them? I mean, usually Egyptians are very, very shrewd.
They're quick to pull the trigger.
And big sides favorites when you're underperforming as a manager, you go there as a manager for a side that's a favorite for the tournament and then you underperform. You're going to get the sack.
Yeah, and there
Amar,
must be a
if-
sense of arrogance also that comes into coming in there and expecting to come out with results. And
I don't think any of us are ever surprised when a manager gets fired ever because the only reason Pochettino's still at Chelsea, and we'll get to this, is because it would cost Chelsea too much money to fire him and then they'll be in trouble. They'll lose 10 points like Everton.
Because chances are, if you look at it, had we not made the 16s, I think Hugo was going to walk the plank.
Well, a lot of people are saying that, and they're saying there's a certain journalist who's been pushing that narrative. You know,
Which journalist?
we're not gonna say names here, but
Does
that
it rhyme
journalist.
with our?
Hey, you never know. Hey. I don't want to rob you guys of this story.
Touche!
You know,
Touche!
but I have to let you guys know about it. You know,
Hey.
Touche!
Guys, your picks for tomorrow's fixtures.
Bafana win and Ivory Coast win.
So on the Betway app, you going win outright in 90 minutes or to progress?
Win outright in 90 minutes. Bafana. Ivory
then-
Coast to progress.
To progress because they've got that Muti thing going on.
Yeah.
Tsepi?
I think Ivory Coast's opponent is going to progress. And I think Bafana is going to also win.
they will progress, but I won't say outright 90 minutes. I think it's gonna go to extra time.
Again.
I'm going to hit the progress just to be safe because that 90 minutes is thing. Bafana paid me out on my progress last week, thanks to penalties. So if I just chose an outright Bafana win, I would have lost. So progress to progress to the next round.
Yeah,
I agree
Bafana going to the
completely. Best goalkeeper loading for our own Ronwen Williams. I agree,
Of course.
and then lots of laughs for Super Sub. That was funny.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so moving further away from Ivory Coast and closer to home, PSL Stellenbosch FC have announced they have parted ways with former Kaizer Chiefs winger Sechota after just 6 months.
What's wrong with that boy?
Hey, man.
Is it him or
Muti.
And I find him so talented.
Yes.
I think he's a rough diamond. And I thought he was going to be polished down there in Stellenbosch.
Of
Rough
all
diamonds.
places. Yes.
We're on fire today? Allah. But yeah, he didn't get enough time at Ramco. But yeah,
Interesting.
Yes, you already said this one. Where the money resides.
okay. Anyway, I don't know. Do you think it's a personality thing? There's a lot of young players that at some point they move club. They never really settle.
Starting to be like Abianale. Remember Abianale had same issues as well.
Yeah.
Shame, man.
You know, of settling into a team, which is a bit of a problem. You know, if you're a professional player and you can't stay 6 months in a team, it says a lot, you know.
And if you look at Stellenbosch, they cook there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can tell that they've got structures in place. That's why they're playing the way they are playing. That's why they're in the winning. They're in the finals, you know, and all of that. But for him to just be there for 6 months, I just wonder what is happening there.
Me too.
Probably a personality.
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
the performance in the league has been fair, but that Carling Cup run.
Yeah, that was good for
was very good
Stellenbosch.
for
That is,
Stellies,
So
yeah.
that's a place that you'd want to stay at. There's
Exactly.
a lot of talent. The Ashley Duprees of this world come from
Reynolds.
Stellenbosch. And you can see where they are now. They end up being snatched by the big boys. But Stellenbosch is fine. Like I said, they cook. That Rama is working overnight. You know, so players leave. It's fine. They've got structures that allow them to actually have like, hey, you leave sharp, cool. Kind of like how SuperSport United does it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving a super sport. And speaking of super sport, guys, wasn't it nice? You know, sometimes everything comes full circle. How, you know, Ronwen comes from super sport, went over to Mamelodi Sundowns, and how super sport was like, well done, my boy. I felt that was a nice, you know, moment.
There's quite a few
Yeah.
talent factory super sport that
Of
cross the very
course.
short
Yes.
trip over to
Yeah,
Sundowns.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
there's
mean,
few. Your
Yeah.
Divas, you know.
Vala and
Mokoena.
Mokoena.
There's quite a few.
Okay, we probably have the squad.
Half the squad.
Who did we have interview the other day? Yeah.
Villa.
Villa.
No, Villa's from Wits.
It's from
Oh,
Wits.
it's from Wits.
Yeah. He was
just coached by Hunt.
Oh,
I
he's
think
a
that's
Gavin
yeah.
child. Yes,
Yes,
of
yes.
course. Yes.
But like it's just how it is. Like we said, was it on the show that we said, "Khori, it's easy. You just open the door and say, hey neighbor, I need a striker. You know?
Easy.
You get them. Easy
Nice.
peasy lemon squeezy.
Mandla
Nice.
saying rumors is that Sechota had off the field issues.
Was he chilling with a certain goalkeeper?
You
you
never
know how
know.
much wine there There's a lot of wine there, guys. It's
All
a
the-
vineyard area.
Like, you wake up, there's
grapes.
there's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Just sitting and waiting.
Speaking of viewership numbers in South African PSL TV, we are just over a month away from FNB Stadium being sold out once again for a Soweto Derby.
Yeah, the only game that I
Does
lie.
it feel like an anticlimax?
That's a
After
very
this
good
AFCON,
question.
we can
actually.
close
Yeah, good
football,
question.
actually.
That's a very good question.
Does it feel like one?
More so because both teams are not challenging for anything. You know, it would have been nicer if they're like they were toe to toe with Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, we're just going there for vibes.
You know, but again, it's a game that commercially means so much, you know, and it will always be the derby, and people always gonna pull through because you no longer need to market the derby, you know. It sells itself.
Self-sell, yeah. And the interesting thing is, from what you were asking, just to piggyback on that, the game on the 17th, is it gonna have that thing? Sundowns Pirates.
I don't know, Helen.
I feel
Honestly
like
speaking,
the rivalry between Sundowns and Pirates now is starting to have the same amount of heat as in Orlando Pirates and the Kaizer Chiefs.
the
Can you
only
feel an
problem
FNB?
is that Sundowns cannot match the supporters base,
Yeah, but then
That's
also
the difference if we're being
Yeah, there's
realistic.
317 people can't feel its FNB up.
But can you not go to like who's playing home? Orlando Pirates.
No, it's Sundowns is playing at home.
So yeah,
at
Loftus. Oh yeah, Loftus.
Loftus.
Okay, so let's see.
Because
But
Agero Loftus is done. The reason why
They were-
number of the games is because Loftus was getting a makeover.
it was getting a BBL.
Yes.
Yeah,
And let's not.
that's nice.
Tsepi, since you made us laugh, darling, let's jet off around the world with you. This time to go around the world with Tsepi Worldwide with us and Betway, where you get way more.
Okay, so let's just start off talking about. Hey, where's okay, hey guys. Look, I have a lot of notes, so it gets a bit confusing for me sometimes. Something quite interesting, and this one is actually not a story that I would like to be discussing, but we've had a couple of topics talking about something like this. Wait, where is the story? Okay, so a 49-year-old ex Premier League player who was accused of rape is finally now going on trial. The trial is going to be tomorrow. I just want to get the full story here. Just give me a moment, guys. So many of these cases, coming out. And I mean, are we still saying that there is a bit of a lack of when you lose direction?
We're getting off the highway.
No, like
of
how I
ramping.
twara handle, how I twara handle. What happens? And
Are
why
you
is
saying
this
the
still-
moral compass is at all-time low?
Precisely, yes. Where is the story?
I would say it's a combination of things. And you're talking about Senor Dani Alves, the most decorated man in
yes,
club
there we
football
go.
Liga,
history.
Who has
Italy
won
Women's
Yeah,
League.
with
everything.
Barcelona, but
Yes.
he's won more.
Oh, here's the story. Sorry, guys.
He's won more titles than anybody in world football, more club titles and World Cups. It said he's the most decorated player in football history.
Yes,
Technically,
I mean,
Dani
he's
Alves.
won 3 Champions League titles with the club.
Barcelona.
And yes, and he's also won 2 Copa America trophies, an
and a
Olympic
World
gold
Cup.
medal. He played at
World
his
Cup?
3rd World Cup.
Yeah.
No.
The only major title he has lost, and he has not won. That was back in 2022. So he's very decorated. Played for Barcelona,
The last World
Juventus,
Cup
and
Brazil
PSG.
won was
2002.
2002.
It was pre-Dani Alves.
Yes,
Yes.
It was
pre-Dani.
Cafu, maybe
During
even
the
after
Roberto
Cafu.
was Carlos part of that team. Roberto Carlos.
Yeah,
It must have been,
Yeah.
yeah.
He would have
Yes.
been with Ronaldinho and anyway.
Yeah, because subsequent to
Rivaldo
that,
was
It
2000
was Maicon was the right back at that World Cup.
Yes.
Which one are you
Maicon,
talking
the
about?
Inter-
2002. Oh, okay.
the one that they won against Germany in the final.
Final.
Because
Yeah.
subsequent to that, Italy won 06, Spain 10, Germany 14, France 18,
We'll
Argentina
forget
22.
Germany
22.
in
Yeah,
2014.
Very
That
fair
7-1
point.
thumping.
Yes. It's the coppers
Yes,
that he won.
and unfortunately for him, the story is that he has changed his story numerous times. He initially said that he does not know this woman, and then he turns around and he says that no, he met her, but there was no sexual contact. And then he says that no, there was some, but it was consensual. So it's not looking good for him. And the story is that he might be getting a maximum of 12, if not 15 years in prison.
They can
Where's
give him
Robinho?
20.
Is he still in prison?
Robinho?
Yeah? Is he out?
I'm not quite sure.
Because I've got an issue with Brazilian. All these stories.
Ronaldinho was also in jail, right?
Yeah,
but
they're very
visa
synonymous
things.
with Brazilians, these stories. And I wonder if it's a cultural thing in
Nah.
Brazil that, in Brazil, it seems like they get their way, you know what I'm saying?
Being
and
a
there are no
sexual
repercussions,
Yeah.
Is it
And
not
they
a-
go and apply the same attitude in certain countries and they get into trouble,
Is it not the mentality of, and hear me out, most of the Brazilian superstars that play in Europe, majority of them grew up in the favelas. They grow up seeing such behaviors around them.
I
I'm
think
not a
that's what I'm trying to
psychology
say.
expert.
I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
just.
It could be that.
But
yeah.
it sounds like a factor.
And now, because they're looking at those crime bosses there in the favelas who have money and they control the narrative that no, I'll get whatever
Can
I
get
want.
away.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's
Then they go to Europe, make money, and that mentality
apply the same thing.
still sticks with them, and they apply it where when you do such,
You are in trouble.
You're gonna
But
get
may I
it.
also then add to this when I super sub and also just I think what might also be the case, because remember that sexual assault is more of taking away, some type of power from the next individual or in the woman in this case. And it seems as though, once you have accomplished so much, and we've just spoken about all this man's accolades and all that he has accomplished, that it seems as though there is a bit of a demigod type of persona that they start to have. And once that happens, they feel invincible. And that's why you find that most people who are at the top of their game, who have accomplished great things, are the ones that sometimes find themselves in these situations.
Cristiano Ronaldo escaped very similar charges in the United States.
Mason is not where he is because of something similar, and you can go on. And these
look,
are
I think
people
it's
at
those
the
power
top of their
dynamics,
game.
and I think, like Leno was saying, their role models, it's people that live that kind of a life where they've achieved certain amount of wealth and they feel they can have their way, and in certain countries it's not that,
It doesn't work like that.
and
under the assumption that they are guilty, obviously we have to
Of
be
course.
careful
Yes,
to
under
say,
that,
everything alleged.
say that it's
You know.
alleged. Yeah.
Yes, everything is alleged.
So-
but it's just worrisome that there's a whole lot of Brazilians that go through that. I mean, Neymar had an issue recently, as well,
It's where you grow up.
So I see a
suppose.
So
comment
you
here
are a
which
product of your environment.
which reminds me of a very important point, and there's a comment here asking us where we're watching the game tomorrow.
At the top of the show, we forgot.
Hey, this is my fault. I'll take the
Oh,
fall for
wow.
this one. I deserve a yellow card. I've got my yellow card. I have to keep quiet for a bit, guys. Please announce.
Okay, tomorrow at 6:00, Coffee Midrand, we are having a Nigeria versus South Africa watch along brought to you
Extravaganza.
by Betway, where you get way more. And we're gonna be in the house. So if you're a baller, doesn't matter. Swing by,
around
come
the
through.
Midrand area.
everywhere.
Coffee has got
Come meet
furniture.
us.
Worry not. There, we're gonna be chilling. So just come through.
COFI coffee.
Yes,
Midrand.
Yes, Coffee Midrand.
No, they know it.
Oh no, yeah. But yeah,
I'm
that's where-
sorry. I'm trying. I'm trying to fix the wrongs.
Do you want another
My
yellow
yellow
card?
card was very short.
This is starting
it's
to
it's
sound
nice
like
to be the
decent.
ref and the coach of your life.
I'm Danny Jordan. I'll make
This man
the
is reffing
decision.
himself and he's coaching himself at the same time.
So yeah, tomorrow 6:00. That's when we're gonna start with our watch along. Coffee Midrand. Make sure you swing
gonna be
by.
fun.
It's gonna be fun. And yeah,
And I think we have some Betway merch, Nyana, so it depends.
we got some Betway merch Nyana,
Yeah.
that we can. And
Yeah.
make sure you wear your Bafana jersey.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
make sure you wear your Bafana jersey.
Yeah, and bring your girl, man. Like, don't be like that. Anyway, let's move on to
Even
another.
Cabo Verdeans are welcome. But
Yes.
yes.
Yes, we were in Spain and now we are going to the States. So the World Cup 2026 schedule announced. Azteca hosts opener. The MetLife Stadium hosts the final tournament. The Aztec Stadium, I believe, is in New Jersey.
Azteca is
Azteca is in Mexico.
In
City.
Mexico. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Yes, that's in Mexico. So that's going to be the host final. The tournament is going to start on the 11th of June at Estadio Azteca in Mexico. And we're also going to have a match in Sophie Stadium in Los Angeles on June the 12th. And then Canada, June the 12th, also simultaneously at BMO Field in Toronto. It's going to be quite strenuous, but I've seen that they have a whole schedule of, on average, once you get to the knockout stages, then every team has a potential of racing for 3 days. So as it looks right now, very, very quickly, the tournament consists of 32 teams. And that is the one that was happening in Qatar, right? 32 teams and 64 matches. And in 2026 edition, it will feature 48 teams and 104 matches and 16 cities spread across the 4 zones in 3 countries, with 13 in Canada, 13 in Mexico, and 78 in the US.
There are going to be 4 games a day, basically.
It's going to be crazy.
Oh, they're going to have
The
goalie wars
downside
at
about
halftime.
this, sorry,
In the American games, the American fixtures, they're going to have goalie wars at halftime.
You know those.
Like,
yeah, no. Look, the downside about this for us who live in the southern part of Africa, it will be time zones. Yeah, it's gonna kill
I mean,
us.
I'll watch
Crazy.
highlights. No, you see what you can do, ne? You must do like I do.
Yeah.
You know?
I do, I do.
I've been prepping myself before even the USA got the World Cup. See, I watch the NBA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you watch matches at like 4 a.m.
Yes,
So
but
I've
they were
got a
also quite
question, guys.
strategic.
Before you proceed on this
Okay.
story, could this now that we've got like 48 teams participating, could the model of having more than one country hosting the World Cup be a sort of like a standard going forward?
Yes.
I think we're looking at that because even the Euros are being held across multiple countries.
Because
coming
the
forward.
idea of Africa having only hosted this prestigious tournament once doesn't sit well with me. You know, I think it needs to be spread across other countries.
Do you see Lesotho helping us
agree.
host the World Cup?
Yes, but I mean,
Yeah, of course. Why not? It's going to help them develop.
I agree.
They don't have the infrastructure. And
But remember, there's money that get pumped in, as
Yeah.
well.
South Africa
Lesotho
technically-
FA is getting money, but they not. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine.
Oh,
Okay,
lord.
but I was just wanted to mention this. I'm responding to you, Super Sub, about can we potentially have a multi-nation type of tournament? And AFCON 2027, as it looks, it seems as though East Africa is bidding right now, and it will consist of a joint bid from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda.
Oh, dope.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yes.
I'm for that.
I am
mean,
too.
If even AFCON, I mean, the number of teams has increased. It used to be like 16. Remember?
It's 24, I think.
Now it's 24, and probably we're gonna get to 32 eventually because how many countries are in Africa?
I almost
Yeah,
said
52.
around there.
Yes.
So.
no. I love guys. I love if you understood. Super Sub will tell you. I love Lesotho. Please don't
Even me.
think I'm doing
They're
them
coming
dirty.
for you already.
I love Lesotho, and Super Sub knows, right?
I don't know.
How does a bus feel on you?
Hey, Jose Mourinho's whole bus.
Very, very quickly, guys. This one is going to be a very quick one. Real Madrid, we know my fave Jude Bellingham to be punished because he allegedly insulted another fave of you guys, Mason Greenwood, saying that he's an RIPIST. Thoughts
Did you
on
really
that
say
one?
that though? Because now there's a professional lip reader that has to be brought into.
But if he did say it,
Is he wrong?
is he wrong?
But it's an
Well, he
alleged
is wrong 'cause he was not convicted.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Yeah, but
It's a.
but players get into trouble for anything nowadays.
It's crazy.
Be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Forza, thanks for updating us.
I'm still under the bus, so I can't answer
Oh,
this
it's
one.
still under the bus.
no.
Can't go.
Almost so tuntate.
How's this for a live
Rata Lesotho
update?
that.
How's this for a live update from Forza? Bayer Leverkusen have gone behind against Stuttgart.
Ooh. So they could just
They
taste
could lose
Potentially
that-
lose their first match.
Yeah, they could lose that record that they've had of
Sure.
going unbeaten all season so far.
But what is
But
the
what's
time?
the minute exactly? What minute are they in?
Okay, let me go.
Pause. Come back for us, man.
Yeah, please, bro.
But also, come on, going the whole season unbeaten is only
Ah,
done
no,
by
Len-
certain
Len-
special teams. guys.
Len does not want any other team to have that for selfish reasons. Not for football reasons, but for selfish reasons.
Man, of course he's wrong. I was being playful. I was being facetious. I was just joking. You should not call another player a rapist on the football pitch. This is
And
not right.
facetiousness is what we do so well here.
I'm playing. I agree with you. It's not something you should be saying. I was trying to make a joke.
And
But,
that's all we have for you worldwide.
Thank you, Tsepi. That was Around the World with Tsepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway, where you get way more. Seeing as we got off of that flight, let's get on another one. English Premier League. Len Moleko, I'll let you take this one away because it's been a very good weekend for Arsenal.
Oh yeah, no, Arsenal played well.
Why is he acting like whatever?
Hey, relax.
What Komel?
He's so nonchalant.
No,
The other day I was like, nah, I didn't even care whether Arsenal was playing or
That
not.
time he's losing sleep and punching the air.
Actually, I didn't even to be fair, right? I know we're gonna be speaking Premier League now. Whatever I'm gonna say it off of highlights and results that I saw. To be totally honest, I've been so AFCON consumed. I haven't had time to watch the Premier League.
No, for sure.
Fair story.
Besides
us,
that, it was a big fixture. It was a big
I
fixture.
mean, even the Arsenal
Liverpool
game, I
against
think
Arsenal.
I watched it in pockets.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But there was no AFCON.
Yeah,
No, I know,
That's
but
why it was
I was
available.
still the euphoria of Bafana.
Or
In
the
fact,
hangover of Bafana.
well, both.
Chiller's punch.
No, I was actually for real. During the Arsenal game, I only remember that Arsenal is playing when I was leaving the Le Coq Sportif shop by Senton City because I was going to get my jersey.
Nice.
Now for sure. Well, it's
Minute
okay,
21
But
in that
then again,
fixture.
I was not surprised. I mean,
A minute
it's
21.
Arsenal. It's I mean, it's Liverpool. I mean,
It's
like,
minute 20, 21 minutes into the game
no.
for the Leverkusen.
Nah, it's
team.
Nah,
still
it's
early.
premature.
Yeah.
Who got a second yellow? TM, update us. So Premier League, obviously Liverpool defensively. My goodness, what happened there? Liverpool have been rather astute defensively. They've had over the past few seasons probably the best goalkeeper in the league, and his performance against Arsenal was
Shorty,
borderline
that
comedy.
third goal. However, this is from highlights, guys. That goal by Trossard was something to marvel at.
It was a good. I thought it was a good
It's the
goal.
way he got the ball just after the center line, the way he was able to turn it, the way he ran, and the way he literally managed to get it between Alisson's
Legs.
legs. That was
Into his
beautiful.
kitchen, yeah.
Mandla Gunner's pushing hard for a photo finish choking session again.
It's okay. We are used to this. We are used to being trolled.
Sorry guys, and this is probably not funny, but then I saw like a short video on Instagram, and it says, oh, okay, so Arsenal is like a TV show. Why do you say it's a TV show? Because you always wait for next season.
Ah.
I thought that was funny. I'm sorry.
It is funny. Don't go with him.
Anyway, let's move.
Who's that rapper says another one?
There's Khaled. DJ Khaled. Speaking of
That's
Premier
enough
League,
for you.
Are you done?
looking further down
What
the
is wrong
bottom
with
of
you?
the league, Sheffield United's best hopes of surviving is more points deductions for other teams for financial issues.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest, Everton.
Everton.
There might be one or two new ones coming into
Man
the fray.
City.
Because Sheffield United are not surviving.
Is that you trying to redeem yourself?
No, me and Marco are discussing teams that might
Yeah,
be dog points because of financial.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say for instance City gets point docked. How is it going to help Sheffield United?
60
No.
points stocked, 115 charges, Baba. Go down.
You go on the minus. And speaking about City, now that we are there, please make this make sense. The Savio deal, right?
What a player. I spoke about him on the show before when I was analyzing Girona.
Yes.
He has stood out for me. I love how direct he is. And I think that it's a great move from Pep Guardiola because they don't have a right winger who's a traditional right winger. It always seems to be Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, etc. currently on the right wing. So you've got Jack Grealish and Doku on the left, which is fantastic. But the Savio being able to play on the right-hand side, even as a left-footed player, would be replacing Riyad Mahrez in many ways.
So I hear you. That's from a footballing perspective.
Yeah.
The issue I have is, all right, he initially was bought by before he went.
check.
In fact, he went to load changing our beautiful friend. He went to Girona on loan from I just forgot the name of that team.
Okay.
But that team, along with Girona, along with Man City, all fall under
Aeon. Who are they? No, sorry, continue.
Saudi
No.
investment.
No.
Not
No.
Saudi.
They all
No.
fall under CFG.
CFG.
Yes.
City Football Group, yeah.
Is this the new model now of doing business in football? I just want to understand.
There needs to be a way. It's like, you know how people
question.
cannot you cannot evade tax, but you can you can't evade tax, but you can avoid it. So there needs to be a way somewhere somehow to get results.
But I've just got a simple question
Troyes is the French team that
Yes.
he was signed by, and then he went on loan, which is still a City football
That's
group.
what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
there's
so I just have a simple
And
question.
he's never played for them, by the way.
No, he's gone on loan every season, and this has been his most successful loan spell at Girona.
interesting.
I just have a simple question, right? How many deals like this have happened in the past?
Tell me one.
I don't know.
I'm asking you. Tell us one. Because you're asking if it's the model. So one deal, and then now you're talking about it being a norm now. It's a model now.
Hey, Super Sub's more defensive than Nigeria.
No, if it was happening like a lot, then we can talk about it. But
Look, I think that there's clearly a attempt from football governing authorities to try and keep in line this multi-team group football thing, and that's why they're saying that they shouldn't allow teams owned by the same club to compete in the same competition. So that's why you can't own two teams inside the same domestic league. But now there's the issue of Champions League that they're discussing about how they're going to go about allowing two teams that are owned by the same group to compete, because that brings into question the integrity. So say Man City were to face Girona,
But they said
would
the one
the
who's the
employers
bottom,
get
yeah.
involved and say, listen, Man City win this? You know, Girona, you lose this on purpose. We've seen it in Formula One, where there was a lot of controversy where it's like,
that's a no.
Ferrari-
Speaking of Formula One,
You
guys,
can-
that's a
Ferrari,
norm in
guys.
Formula One.
Speaking of Formula One, guys, our boy is going to
Wrong show.
is going to
Ah,
Ferrari.
you turn 40, you get a Ferrari. That's how it works.
Right?
But
Anyway,
also a wrong
yes,
show.
continue. Yes, my friend, you were saying.
No, but I think that there's enough of an issue there for the governing bodies to be looking at this idea of multi-club groups and their dealings with each other. But in saying that, I agree with you, because is this a norm that's happened before? No, this is the first one we can think of off the top of our
Unless
head.
there is one.
And we've spoken about agreements between football clubs and feeder clubs and things like that in the past. And we were speaking about it earlier today, where Feyenoord were giving the Supersport United, they were giving them technical training and they were giving them assistance and financial assistance in exchange for being able to pick up young talent from South Africa. Is this not something fairly similar? But
No, it's not.
But are there,
Because-
All I'm saying, Marco, is we are sitting here down in the southern part of Africa. We've got a Premier Soccer League that the owner of a team is also a chairperson of the Premier Soccer League. And we're going to go question what is happening up there. We don't even question what is happening down here.
Yeah, but then also the chairperson
more
of
defense.
another team is also the president of CAF.
Of
you're a
CAF,
good
exactly.
defender, hey?
Guys, he
Super
stepped down.
sub.
No,
Attorney at football law.
the president of the chairman of Mamelodi Sundowns is
stepped down.
Kropi
Okay,
Motsepe.
he
He
stepped
owns,
down.
who
Let's be
owns
fair.
Mamelodi Sundowns?
Let's be
It's
fair.
Kropi Motsepe.
Let's be
Who
fair,
owns,
though.
who owns Sundown?
Like-
It's Kropi.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, don't come for City before you can go for your
is it.
chairman here.
Yo, Super Sub came at me like he was
Yeah, no.
What? A
like
wrecking
he
ball?
was like he was Cannavaro there.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Sorry, Mecho.
Yo, but
Let's
anyway.
talk about Chelsea blowing hot and cold. Is this a conversation we're still having?
Guys, can we talk about more serious teams?
Pochettino was he apologized to the fans. Isn't
was
that
a poor
sign
performance at
of
home.
like a dang? It's getting like
That's what I'm
getting
saying.
hot in this kitchen.
It's let's talk about more serious teams.
If you but
Unfortunately,
let's
Chelsea
address
is a
this.
very serious team,
The
guys.
stats are showing that Pochettino hasn't improved the side, but Pochettino has shown his credentials. This isn't like having Frank Lampard there. Poch
Well,
can
at the
turn it
moment,
around.
it looks the
but
same.
then his stats right now are worse than Porter's.
Yeah, but
is it Porsche or is it the team or is it the owners?
Man United
Exactly,
have
and
gone
that's a
through
valid
top
question.
Jose Mourinho had trouble at Manchester United. Okay, Spurs, but that's Spurs. Do you know what I'm saying? No one succeeds at Spurs. But
Well, Porsche actually came very close.
yeah,
If we are being fair.
if we're being fair, Poch came the closest. But Jose Mourinho is a top manager and had trouble at clubs that have trouble, right?
Fair point. So he, on opening up Chelsea like a can of sardines, ne?
That
Who are
phrase
you,
always kills
Brentford?
me. No, continue.
Okay. Anyway, I'm preparing for Cape Verde. That's what I'm talking about. Sardines.
Sardines. Okay.
You're gonna hear a lot of it today.
Are you Wolves opening up a can of Chelsea sardines?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Chelsea, the model when Roman Abramovich was still at the helm, Chelsea did not go for more than 2 seasons of struggle. He was very precise with the players that he brought in. He was very precise with the temporary managers that come in. I mean, there was a time I used to call him a stopgap. Like literally, every time a coach gets fired, he's brought in to finish the season, and then a new coach comes in. What's his name? He's Dutch, I think. Guus Hiddink.
Go sitting.
Yes,
Yeah.
Guus Hiddink used to be the stopgap for Chelsea for a
What
while.
a manager to be to be an interim manager.
Exactly. And he knew, like, okay, cool. I just need to go and sort something out. This is probably going to be the first time since Roman Abramovich took over that Chelsea are going to go 2 seasons back to back without playing Champions League.
Well,
So, okay,
definitely.
Yeah, of course.
And you look at what comes to mind is that season where Carlo Ancelotti finished second in the league and then lost the FA Cup final and then was fired the very day that they lost the FA Cup final. And I think Chelsea right now would be delighted with a second place finish and an FA Cup final appearance.
It's going to be very
I think the
painful
biggest
for them.
mistake that Chelsea made. Sorry, Tepi.
Yes, Ollie.
Yeah. The Tuchel.
No, let him
Tuchel.
speak.
Firing Tuchel, I think, was the biggest mistake.
But
Tuchel,
then,
yeah.
you see, I think the thing with that was, it was when the new owners had just come in, their idea, you know, these Americans, they think they know everything. But anyway, their idea.
They don't even know football.
Mara, they've got. Yes.
Anyway, I think the new owner's idea of running the club probably clashed with what Tuchel was trying to build.
Todd Boehly.
Todd Boehly, that's his name. Yes.
Yeah, Todd
So
Boehly,
his
yeah. The
idea
new owner,
his idea of running Chelsea did not gel with what.
Should we not give Poch a little bit of credit? He plays Liverpool later this month in the Football League Cup.
My friend, but that's what's scary, don't you think? Because remember that before Chelsea plays Liverpool, it's Carabao, right? Final.
yes.
They are going to play City before. So it's going to be a decider as to how well they do. I mean, it's literally downhill for them if that's the case, and that just might also be like that little straw that's going to break the camel's back.
And where would they be without Cole Palmer?
They can just go and beat City.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that team that can just beat a
Palmer,
a top
Petrovic
4
is
side,
not
and the
bad.
next week lose to
Gallagher,
Crystal
at
Palace.
least,
Was it the 4-4? Was it against City
Yes.
last year? Or was it Spurs City? There was a crazy game that Chelsea played, and the way they applied themselves, I was very impressed in that particular game.
Chelsea have a side of talented players, and they can bring it on the day.
And that's why, guys, I mean, how long are we going to say that Poch is an excellent coach? I mean, he's had 7 months now. I mean, he's had a preseason.
What does he want?
And he doesn't really have exactly. It's not like he's got any pressure.
French League.
Yeah, he doesn't have pressure. I mean, okay, yes, FA, yes, Carabao, yes, but there's no Champions League. There's nothing. So what exactly is his stress? Why is he not able to turn things around?
There's a problem
even
with
now?
it. You can't blame Poch.
Could Mourinho be the savior for Chelsea?
Would he go back?
Well, let me just put this out there right now. We can talk about that till we blue in the face. They can't fire Poch. They've spent too much money on players. If they fire him, they have to give him and his team a lot of money to pay out the remainder of the contract, and then they would be docked another 10 points for financial issues.
So
And
then they
if
just dug a
docked
hole.
10 points. If they dock 10 points, they are very close to Everton.
And another problem is they've got all those players in like long-term contracts.
Yes, young players
Young
that
players.
they
Young
brought
players
in
in the long-term
And they are
contracts.
young.
and
Shane.
say they are penalized.
Two of the things has to happen. Those young players needs to start delivering for Chelsea, or they need change in management.
If Chelsea
Which
are to
management
be
is going to change? The problem for
Actually,
Chelsea
it's 3
is not...
questions, friend. Is it management? Is it the squad? Or is it the manager?
Let me tell you
I mean,
something.
sorry, the owners.
Let me tell you something. The problems at Chelsea is not management necessarily. It's the ownership. This fish rots
Upper
from the
management.
head. It's Todd Boehly.
What is the problem? Because he bought the players that the manager wanted.
And it's a lot of money, hey.
He spent a lot of
Not
money.
shortchange.
What could Todd Boehly be doing wrong at Chelsea?
We don't know the convert. It's like asking yourself.
But we can't say
okay,
the problem is
it's-
the fish is rotten, and we can't at least substantiate that we're saying it's rotten because we there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
We mudsling Man United and the Glazers every time. Did Eric Ten Hag get the players that he desired? I would like to think so.
I think he did, yeah. I mean,
So what is
they
the
went
problem?
all out for
What I'm
Anthony
saying
and
is,
Onana.
why are we saying Todd Boehly is doing something wrong? He has saved the team and
he's
they
been
pumped
very
in money.
And he's been very clever in the way that he spent the money, because he's the only club that's managed to spend a lot of money and still, with the clever way that they did contracts, still be in line with financial fair play.
So
That's
are
what
you
I'm
telling
saying.
me? Okay.
So from an owner standpoint, has he done that badly?
That's what I'm asking.
But maybe there's I wonder
Enzo
where the
Fernandez.
culture issue comes in. I was
Casillas.
discussing
Ballers
this
can
earlier
tell us.
today.
Maybe
Yeah.
ballers can tell us.
But I see ballers are saying bring back Roman. If you're a Chelsea fan, I think
Of
you'd be
course.
saying this
Abramovich,
all day long.
Stop the
Bring back Roman.
war.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Chelsea is in dire straits. That's the long and short of it. I don't see them making Champions League yet again.
Are they going to make top 8?
Top,
They're not going to make Europe. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. That's all that matters.
and the other thing is, you fire a Poch. Well, firstly, it's problematic and it's expensive. But if you fire him, who do you bring in? There isn't really a manager now that is, except for Zizou, right? He's still unemployed.
And Jose Mourinho. That's the
Jose
one.
is.
I don't think
That's the one that
I
stands
don't
out.
think Jose would work. I don't think he would work well with Todd Boehly.
But they can't. Like I said, they can't fire Poch. They don't have the money.
Okay, well, Graham Potter, but I doubt he's going to go back.
Would you want to
Nah,
go back?
but
Yeah.
Graham Potter, it didn't work already.
Who else? There isn't really any.
Where's the guy that won the Champions League when he came as an interim?
Roberto Di Matteo.
Yeah. He just
Wait, wasn't
figured
he
out.
coaching? Wasn't Di Matteo coaching Belgium?
No, no, no,
Martinez.
That's
I'm thinking
Martinez.
Who's currently
Who's now
Portugal
in-
manager,
yes,
so
who's
he's
in
not going
Portugal
anywhere
now.
unless Jose goes there. I don't know, but there's Roberto Martinez has won every single fixture in their that he's been manager for Portugal in their qualification period for the Euros. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
they
think
play-
he's going anywhere.
they-
Wouldn't it be a
Uzbekistan.
mind fight? Wouldn't it be a mind
don't.
if Klopp would just
But
wake
it was
up
Uzbek-
the next
it's
day at
Uzbekistan.
Chelsea?
Who else has
Never.
won every game?
He said he's not going to coach any English team.
English team, exactly. Wouldn't it be like a big mind
Jurgen.
if though? If Jurgen would just
I-
wake up
There's a
one day
coach
and go
out
to
there
Chelsea.
that I think will turn things around for Chelsea.
So
one
we're
day
saying
when
that
they need to.
Who?
Pitso Musiman.
Hey,
Well, he's an option,
okay.
and he's free after 4 months, right?
After 4 months,
he signed
which
a
I
4-month
find it
contract.
very well.
There's somewhere where he is going.
But I think he's selling himself short. He's becoming like a tennis ball for this.
Like an Arabian-
no, like you can't. Why would you sign for 4 months?
He's like Habli.
But isn't
come
it
on.
a strategic maybe from his side? I think he lets them play in his face, but I think also he's chasing.
I just feel like he's letting them play with
Play in his
with
face.
this integrity. You know, Pitso is a big name. You know, you can't be offering a big name like Pitso Musimane a 4 months contract.
But what if it's him
why is
who
he
wanted
taking
it?
it?
What if it's him who wanted it? Because perhaps
Well, there's that as well.
he could be, wearing the colors that I'm wearing very soon.
Knowing
Nah, I don't see
knowing
It's
the
ours.
Arabs, knowing the Arabs and how they've been treating him, I don't think. Yeah, 4 months was. I don't think it was his choice. But anyway,
I'm going to interject now and say that you guys are very purposely trying to run us out of time before we talk about one special team's performance this weekend.
Which team?
Which other team was playing?
Bafana.
no, there's a
No,
guy
it was
that
Bafana,
word.
it was Ivory Coast, and then Arsenal, obviously. What else?
What other team? Oh no, Luton did
you-
very well against.
You guys are
against
nice, eh?
Newcastle.
You guys
What
are
else?
nice, eh?
Oh, City won against Brentford.
Oh, City
Phil
was.
no, sure.
Phil Foden won against City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
hat-trick.
we've spoken about all the teams that
Yeah.
matter.
You know what?
we didn't
I
talk
said that
about
I'm the
Phil Foden
referee.
hat-trick.
Hi guys, even
I'm
Luton,
referee and
Luton
chairman
guys
and
these
everything.
days is also showing us some things, you know.
You guys all want yellow cards or what? Or can I talk about Manchester United?
Yeah, you can. Or do you want to speak about it alone?
Yeah, I will. No, Manchester United played the best football that we've seen under Eric Ten
Yeah, they
Hag.
showed they have us some things, yeah.
Garnacho and Hojlund has now, he's the youngest Man United goal scorer to score in 4 consecutive Premier League games.
Oh, that's a
Holland.
nice stats, eh?
Yeah, so he's at his age, he turned 21.
21 on his birthday, that's when he
Celebrated his
scored,
birthday with a
yeah.
fantastic goal. Took really well on his weak foot. And then Alejandro Garnacho showing a lot of quality as well. And
his left foot.
for a change, Man United being defensively astute as well. Against, maybe an ailing West Ham side. They've not had their best run of form
But it's still
in
West
recent
Ham.
weeks.
Still a win.
But it's a good West Ham side. And Manchester United really played really, really well.
And
And
what
Hojlund,
about
I just like how Hojlund is starting to score. Is it Hojlund?
Hojlund?
Hojlund.
He's starting to back those goals. You
Yes,
know, which is really good.
He just needed the monkey off his back of the first Premier League goal, and it seems to be flowing for him now.
I thought it was another Weghorst, but yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Do you
not.
know
What
who's
about
become a
Man U?
Weghorst now?
Guys, sorry?
not Haaland, but yeah.
What about your guys' supporters wanting Mourinho to take over?
Silly. I mean,
What's going on there?
Yeah, but anyway, they can't.
Well, it
as
still remains the most successful manager
course.
at United post
Since,
Alex Ferguson era or era, you know. So
I don't know if Mourinho would want to return. I don't know what job he's waiting for now after Roma. He's already turned down Saudi, which I thought he was going to go to because the money was huge for him there.
But remember, Mourinho is the one of the highest paid coaches
already.
Yeah,
but I mean, they would have
he has
broken
made more
records.
money being fired than being a coach.
May I ask you when Arsenal also? Sorry, guys.
You know my name is Len, right?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, Len Arsenal. Okay.
Child.
Takehiro.
Tomiyasu.
Yes. Tell me what your thoughts are, considering also just how prone to injury he is, and your boy wanting to keep him.
I think he's a good cover. We need a strong bench. More so because Arsenal is in the Champions League. Yes, FA Cup bombed out. There's no Carabao Cup.
No.
But there's Champions League and there's the league. We noticed like last season, the one thing that we ailed at and the one thing that literally threw us off our tracks was the injury to Saliba, and we didn't have cover for him. So Tomiyasu, looking at
When he plays, he plays.
No, he's a crafter.
he works.
Yeah.
He works.
I think the other day we were having a conversation about how much of hard workers or hardworking players you find in a lot of the Asian players that play in the Premier League, and I think we named
We mentioned him, yeah.
and he was amongst there with Heung-min
Son.
Song, Jisoo Park, and I forgot the Wolves one. Yes, so it's I think it's to Arsenal's benefit to have him renew his contract.
Okay, nice.
Also,
Marco.
Man United, I was going to say, I find it surprising that Hojlund has literally gotten out of his shell before Mudryk actually has. And one was more expensive than the other, right?
But is Modric an outright number 9? Not necessarily.
Is he Ntomako?
No, Mudryk plays off of the left for Chelsea
but you can
anyway.
still-
So
But
it's
you
not
want
fair.
goals from him.
But yeah, did you see Arsenal fans still bitter that Mudryk chose Chelsea over there? It's like, yeah, good suffer there, Chelsea, suffer.
No, we dodged the bullet.
bullet.
We dodged the bullet from Ukraine there.
And Liverpool dodged a bullet with
From
Caicedo.
Ukraine. Wow.
What?
Never mind. I was saying Liverpool dodged a bullet with Caicedo. Moses Caicedo.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
they
I
did.
think Caicedo is still coming. I think
So
The
Yeah.
season is almost over.
When?
No, but you
It's
can't
very
say that
late.
about Caicedo and then not say the same thing about Portugal.
Yeah, Poch, Caicedo.
No, we're talking about players that
Mudryk,
dodged the bullet.
everybody.
Who was looking for Poch?
I think I have faith in him.
So let's look at
Marco,
for
this.
that
before you
money-
move on, Manchester United haven't lost a game this year.
Yeah, well done to them. They've not performed fantastically.
You lie.
But they've had two fairly good games in the past few weeks. So, and I think the most promising thing has been the attacking
Take that
football. the
stats and
interchange.
run, my friend.
Yeah.
That's it.
And guys, Unana also came to the party, hey?
Yeah,
How?
I didn't concede the goal.
Aye, but West Ham didn't take a shot. They took one. Like, I don't know.
Who was it-
but I
who
saw
was it the-
that
who-
one
who
that
was-
I actually saw. Like,
Who was it the goals?
Hey?
Who was it the goals?
Onana.
Yes, he didn't concede.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Shem, it was like an Unana save, and then it was another one. I mean, it was a man. Come on, give
Because
him
usually if
credit.
there's no shots, he will let them in.
Are you a Man United goalkeeper? You must. Okay.
Sticking to Tepe's sentiment, perhaps he must just warm up that United seat, and who knows, Ronwen could
We
be
have a
the
Ronwen.
next United
Yeah,
keeper.
maybe. Looking at this weekend's fixtures before we close off, champions Manchester City taking on Everton. The battle of the financial fair play on Saturday.
Wow.
Saturday, early kickoff. For a change, Liverpool don't have the early Saturday kickoff.
They can have their pasta in peace at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock, yeah.
Oh.
So Man City at home to Everton.
it's
Everton not in the form that they were. Sean Dykes, what's he gonna do?
Nah,
Suffer.
not much.
Hey,
Suffer.
man, I really do feel sorry for them.
And IOB won't be back.
No.
No, either. No. Either or. because there's still a third place playoff.
Oh yeah,
on Saturday.
He has
so
to
he
do
can't-
that on
Yes.
Saturday, so he can't play for
Yes.
Everton on Saturday.
So
yeah.
no, I checked that very well.
Yes, very good. Fulham taking on Bournemouth. That's another fixture I wouldn't bet on because either one could,
Draw.
True.
Liverpool back to winning ways at home to Burnley. At home, Liverpool are so good.
What
at
will Lyle
Anfield.
do?
Burnley. What would Lyle do?
I'm asking.
He's still burning the young man. He must be hating himself for not coming. But
No,
anyway,
it's punching the air.
so easy one, Liverpool.
Yeah, easy straight up win for and
Anfield.
they want to bounce back. Yeah, no, straight up Liverpool.
Luton against Sheffield United. Luton at home. Sheffield United offering nothing. This
And
is the
Luton
one.
is showing some
And
type
Luton
of-
scoring goals. I
Yeah.
like Ross Barkley
Yeah, no, Ross
He's
is pushing for
resurrected
Luton.
himself.
and
at
Ross
Luton.
Townsend. There's two players that really resurrected their careers there at Luton. And I like both.
Because
of them.
Andros was at
Crystal Palace
was
most
he
of his career.
Palace?
Most,
Did he-
most of his Premier League career is at Palace.
Why am I thinking?
Spurs.
I thought he was at the Saints. No, not Spurs.
He was at Spurs before.
No, I'm thinking
Southampton.
Southampton. Yes.
And speaking of Spurs, they host Brighton, who, Brighton
They're
was
becoming-
looking so promising, and now
They losing the plot.
they
Yeah.
had a good win.
Still, but
the
they
weekend,
also,
but-
they're also blowing hot and cold. That's
Yeah.
the thing with them.
Wolves looking very good against the good Brentford side, but Wolves at home, I kind of fancy Wolves in that fixture.
Yeah, I think Gary got in there and he's doing some things.
I would go for Brentford. The way they were applying themselves against Man City, it's just a pity they were playing against a well-oiled machine that's gonna get that points soon.
And Phil
but
Foden has like glue
We
on
really
his
helped
face.
you today. Eh?
No, I say Wolves. Anyway,
I say Brentford.
Then Forest have to host Newcastle. Forest also going to be docked points, maybe not playing great football. Newcastle had a disappointing result against Luton.
Yeah.
They might want to bounce back away at Forest. You got a fancy
You got a
Newcastle.
fancy Newcastle, yes.
Sunday's fixtures, West Ham against Arsenal.
Revenge beckons. Arsenal to win.
yeah, but I think that they're going to give him a run for their money. The Hammers.
I don't see anything from West Ham currently.
Yeah, but
I think
feel like they're going
Arsenal-
it's probably going to be like a 2-1.
The quality of Arsenal moving forward, I don't think that's West Ham are going to
Yeah,
cope.
with-
Because
with
I was
Wolves
just
and
singing the
Wolves,
praises of Man United, and they did play very well against West Ham. But I watched the Arsenal Liverpool fixture afterwards. I was like, oh, this is a level up. Do you know what I'm saying?
course.
Man United played well, but the Arsenal Liverpool game was like, oh, it is a
Levels.
level up. So for Arsenal to now go take on that same West Ham side, they might make them look like amateurs this weekend. I actually fancy a big win for Arsenal.
Yeah,
Really?
I really
also
do.
see-
I see a 2-1.
Because it was
for-
West
for
Ham that
Arsenal.
beat Arsenal towards the latter part of last year, right? When they went on that string of losses towards the end of the year. I think West Ham was one of the teams that actually beat Arsenal.
Southampton was the big one for me. That was the big fixture, is that when Southampton were relegated and they beat Arsenal.
Oh, yes.
That was the big fixture.
So, no, I'm talking this season last year.
Just now,
Toward-
remember
Oh,
when
last year.
Arsenal was
Oh, right,
just
right,
getting
right,
one
right,
off,
right,
yeah.
And then Aston Villa at home to Manchester United. Villa's home record now extinguished. But
Doesn't mean it's gone.
doesn't mean that home form is
Where
gone.
there's smoke, there's
And
fire.
good evening Sunday might just be a very good evening for Aston Villa. But Man United playing more enterprising football, they could come back in that.
Bring a surprise. But if
It
you're
could
going to
be a
put your
draw.
money at 1.5 that game,
You think no goals?
I see a draw.
it's going to be a draw, but a very, I want to say a dullish draw, like a 1-1 or like, or no.
If we're still on Premier League, I just want to give shout out to our Onside ZA Fantasy League. We haven't done
yeah.
that in a while.
Oh, snap. Yes.
I haven't done subs in such a long time.
Aye.
Oh my gosh.
at
You see what
number
AFCON
five-
has done?
At number 5?
At number 5, we've got Lioness.
Lionel.
Lioness.
Speaking to your mic.
Your wish.
So it's a female team. It's a women's team.
It's a women's team.
That is so
Apparently,
dope.
It's Sophie Abalobi.
Please speak into
Oh,
your
hi,
mic there.
Sophie.
Sophie Abalobi. And then we've got...
Hi, Sophie. Are you from Cape Verde? My visa is ready.
Yeah, no, and then at number 4, SAFCAD Ramo Hlale. And then number 3, it's High Press, Chris Witboy. And then at number 2, it's Inter Uppington FC, Malcolm Yankees. And then at number 1, it's Baldwin Neromond. I like this name, Gerard Slipped.
That's the name of the team. Nice one.
Yeah, I'm not there, but I haven't made a sub since the first weekend of the.
You were just there to add the numbers. No?
I just added the number.
I haven't made a sub since the year started.
Yeah, for me, I always lose momentum during the festive season, because usually I
But we're in Feb now. We're in Feb.
Yeah, but once you lose 3-4 games, you will
you
find
give up.
yourself
You're
down
gone.
there on fantasy, So like, I didn't have my phone for the entire festive season, so I couldn't even change.
Yeah.
Hey,
anything.
the defense on Super Sub today. Every time. Mvala. Aye, very good moment.
Remove the mask.
I'm the Lord.
Speaking of Lord Mvala and co, we will see you all tomorrow night at Coffee in Midrand for Bafana Bafana
gonna be
against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's go, Bafana. Come join us. Have some chillers punch. Enjoy meeting Tsepi Worldwide, Len
And
Moleko.
Liverpool.
Oh yeah, before we get out of here, I actually have a gripe, right?
Another rant brought to you by Betway. Gateway more.
Was it necessary for the High Commissioner of Nigeria to send out the letter that they sent?
No, it was not necessary. I don't think football goes with banter, and I don't think our banter between
It's never been violent.
it's never been violent, and I don't think it has reached a level of toxicity where it needs a high commissioner to make a statement.
And what is he saying about us?
The toxicity that exists between some South Africans and some Nigerians in South Africa has been there for a long time.
And it's not
And it's
sports
nothing to
related.
do
And
with
it's not
football,
sports related.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
But
Yes.
South Africa has no history of sports related violence.
We don't have a
We
history
don't.
Like
of
in
violence
Argentina,
per se.
Brazil,
Yeah.
We
saw
got
Russia.
knocked out in the World Cup. We didn't progress to the next stage, but we still cheered for African teams. We are that country.
We played Nigeria in Egypt in 2019 and they knocked us out of the AFCON. Was there any animosity that happened?
No,
Nothing.
I actually hate that because he's just fueling something that was non-existent. to
Yeah, he's
start with.
pushing a narrative.
Connie,
He's pushing a narrative,
Yeah,
and
so
I don't
wrong.
know why they are acting as victims.
please
but
go to the net to the necessary officials. If you what? No.
Yeah, look. I
No.
mean, the last part
No.
about that,
Period.
it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's-
No.
But
Stop
if
eating
Nigeria are to win tomorrow, please do abide by those rules and mute your celebrations just as a courtesy.
No,
Thank
look,
you.
if Nigeria wins, congratulations to them. We will gladly
We'll
go
gladly-
play our third and fourth place playoff.
Easy.
If we beat Nigeria, we advance to the final, and then we're going to be hooting our cars and drinking Chilla's Punch,
And we move.
drinking Grandjour and all of that, and we keep it moving and get ready and go buy
And get
more
your
jerseys.
visa and
No, I'm going to Cape Verde only next week. And just wait for Sunday
And we move.
and we watch Bafana against whoever it is that's going to make it to the final.
Yeah, no.
Whether I'm going to be going around Midrand, Senton, Hillbrow, Sunnyside, Pampirstad.
And even, what are you gonna
and
go
look
there and
for
do?
a Nigerian national. What am I doing?
Yeah, no.
If I see one, it's fair, cool,
They
sharp.
say, what
Keep
is
it
this? What
moving.
is this in Zulu? No,
No.
man.
No,
Stupid.
it was.
In fact,
it's
it's fueling
regrettable.
a xenophobia that is not
It's-
non-existent.
I agree with you.
Justice.
There's no such thing. If anything, you should keep out statement to tell Nigerians to behave in a foreign country, because a lot of times they don't behave in this country. And it does not even keep out a statement to say, "Hey, do the right thing."
Mari.
Mara, when there's nothing, he is out here giving out statements that are useless.
Marok Salah, we're going to beat Nigeria tomorrow.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Take that to the bank.
And
no, they
on
don't
the-
have bank accounts.
Oh, la,
In
la.
South, okay. Anyway, yes, Marco, what do you say?
That was Onside ZA, brought to you by Betway, where you get way more. Thank you so much for joining us. Len Moleko, Tsepi Worldwide, Super Sub, and most of all, thank you to you.
I'm joking, guys, and I love you.
Remember to stay onside with us and Betway. Don't be offside, be onside.
Danko means thank you.
Boom, 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 boom.